Hello everyone, and welcome to my review for Record of Ragnarok Season 2, Episode 5. Before we get into today's review, as always, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future Record of Ragnarok uploads. Now, this episode has the end of Round 4. It ended around where I should have expected it to end, like a third of the way through the episode, I think. You push it on to half with the post-round 4 stuff. I liked it. I think there was only one thing I didn't like, and that was that they moved Jack's hallucination to be before the opening, so it is a separate thing from Jack just sort of aimlessly daydreaming and wandering over to Heracles. Because part of what made that little vision, that little daydream so impactful is that Jack is here in this battle of souls in which he, or the person he's battling against, will be erased. He is here recognized as the most evil human being in all of history. Debatable. Everyone in the audience, almost everyone in the audience, hates him. And he's fighting against someone that, we'll come to find, he doesn't really want to kill. His whole life was so awful. He was a person who became so evil because of the evils of humanity and how unfair the world can be. And so as he's aimlessly stumbling towards the final clash of this battle, he is daydreaming of what he wishes his life was like, which is just to be a well-treated, well-fed, and loved child. And then when he reaches Heracles, that vision ends, he comes back to the reality of where he is and what his life was actually like. That is part of what makes that so impactful. I don't think it really hits as hard when they separate it like that. Other than that, there's the usual issue with not taking enough time to build up to or linger on really important moments, such as Heracles getting pierced through, or really just kind of like that last moment there. They didn't really give any of Heracles' internal monologue during that time. It's just like, die! Missed out on that a bit. But the animation, I would say, was good. The thing that stood out to me the most was the soundtrack. The OST they used was the best Death OST they've used. It reminded me of that Fairy Tail OST MISD used for his version of the end of this fight. So, you know, I don't know, maybe some of those animators were taking notes. Actually, it wouldn't really be, not the animators, the production team was taking notes. Who knows? For the fight overall, was it a great adaptation? No. Was it a good adaptation? I would say so. I'm not sure if I would say it was a very good adaptation, but I would say it was at least a good adaptation. A satisfactory adaptation. Someone walks up to me on the street and they ask me, Misk, what did you think of the anime version of Jack vs. Heracles? I would probably think, who the fuck are you? How do you know who I am? And, you know what? I'm content with it. I'm not mad about it. I'm not upset. I'm fine with the way it turned out. I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10 overall. Decent. Actually, wouldn't I bump it down to a 7 for decent? I don't remember what I gave the fights from last season, so I don't know. Based on my current internal standards, I'll give it like a 7.5. Yeah. So that was that fight. Also, the after the fight stuff was done really well, I would say so. Now this is when we get into the restructuring. Perhaps what will end up being the biggest change in this anime. was them moving around the Buddha stuff to between rounds 4 and 5. A big issue when this stuff was happening was that we were in the middle of the fight between Shiva and Raiden, and we were waiting for it to really kick up a notch and get good. Because, you know, it was just kind of, like, pretty decent. Actually, really, not much of anything had happened up until that point, in all honesty, so we were kind of waiting for it to get good. And then Buddha interrupted it for, like, 2 whole fucking chapters of a monthly series. It's not good for pacing. It was very bad for pacing. I think we're going to find out when I watch the anime version of the round, but I think that had quite the impact on the perception of and enjoyment of the fight. I mean, for a while I had it as the second to last ranked of the rounds. It's third now, I guess, because of round 7. Actually, I'm not sure if I rank it above or below round 6, because round 6 had some things going for it, and it also has some really dumb shit in it. So, but yeah, I think this restructuring decision is a very good idea for the sake of pacing and fight structure. Should be good. We get the introduction of Buddha. He looks good. He sounds good. He has Gojo's VA. I'm gonna assume they picked Gojo's VA for him because Gojo is a guy who also says he is the honored one. That is about as deep as I'm assuming it is, other than that he is also a cocky and arrogant character who is a cool, smooth dude that's kind of a dick. So, you know, a popular character. I thought the color for the garden area looked really nice. One of the wonders of an anime adaptation is they add color to otherwise just black and white scenes. And as I've mentioned before, in the past I haven't really been a big fan of the lighting and coloring that they've done in the anime. But I think for this, which is supposed to be like, I don't know, a little chunk of the Garden of Eden or something, looks quite delightful. The 7 lucky gods all look good. Bishamonten looks great in color, though it's really fucking funny. It's really funny that I think it looks like Bishamonten's mouth is CGI when the rest of his body is 2D. I'm gonna assume that's just coloring for the lighting, but it's really weird. I saw it when they were doing their introduction. I'm like, is his fucking mouth CGI? What is going on? So yeah, that's the thing, I guess. You know, we have Akita show up. His VA sounds good. Kojiro's VA is back. Kanjo's VA sounds good. They all sound good. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the episode. You know, it was primarily an intermission episode. It did succeed to get emotion out of me when it needed to do so. So for that, I would say it was a success. I'll give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. How does that sound? Sound good? Great. So that's all I've got for the review. You guys know the drill already. I'm not going to repeat it again. I don't know how many of you will be binging these or something. Though they're all releasing in a relatively short span of each other, so I'm sure the usual spiel would become annoying. I wonder if it's annoying already for normal videos. Anyway, I'll see you guys around. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.